So, engineering typically has a stereotype as being like one of the most difficult majors to major in college. And although it is true that you'll be working really hard and probably having sleepless nights, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be like smart per se to graduate and become a successful engineer. In the end, the hardest work that you'll probably have to do is just to like fulfill those class prerequisites, just to graduate from college. So really it's not like you have to work that hard in your actual work when you graduate, but more so that you have to work really hard during school. Some of you may look up to me because I graduated in this field and I have like some years of experience in my career. I know times haven't changed so much since I last graduated back in like 2017, so I'm not like too old, I'm not like too unrelatable. I still understand what it's like being like a student and also being a teacher / mentor. You guys probably look up to me because I'm probably the same age as you, or maybe I'm just a little bit older than you, so I'm still like a mentor in your eyes. And it is true that that I was once in your shoes, worried about my future. Like, what am I going to be doing once I graduate? Who am I going to look up to? Who can help me, who can guide me throughout this field and this career? Someone who's not like too old or too unrelatable. And I would have loved it if I had someone like me in a way where I could look up to someone to help guide me. So overall, yes, I did graduate from college with a degree in like environmental engineering, but I don't believe that I'm smart in any way. So don't think that you have to be like a super genius to graduate in this field and like become successful. Trust me, I'm still learning too on my job every single day. I didn't know anything right when I was going into my first job. I didn't have all the answers. I just knew that I had to be willing to learn really fast and like that I was open-minded. So I tried to really learn everything I could on that first day. Okay, so here's why I don't think you have to be like smart in order to graduate from this field or become successful in this career. So I'm just gonna give like a background about me. That way you can like compare yourself to your position versus what I had to go through too. So back in the day, I graduated with a bachelor's in chemistry with like a 3.3 GPA. So realize that this is a bachelor's in a whole different field, chemistry, with a 3.3 GPA. This is not like a 4.0 GPA, not a perfect score. It's just like an average, maybe above average, B plus average GPA in undergrad. So I went from a different field. Okay, so I had a whole learning curve that I had to go through, and I had a lot of classes to make up for that. After I graduated, I was just thinking like, what am I gonna do with my life? I at least thought that if you graduated with a master's degree or higher, that you would have a higher chance of getting a job and getting paid more. So I wanted to go into graduate school. That was when I applied to my master's in environmental engineering, and I graduated with that back in 2017 with a 3.6 GPA. So again, this is not like a 4.0 GPA, it's not a perfect score. I didn't, completely fly through graduate school. It was also very tough coming into a different field. Had a whole like semester just to catch up on classes. Even applying to like graduate school was difficult in itself. So I had like a 3.3 GPA. Most people want like a 3.5 GPA or higher. Going from bachelor's to your master's, when you apply to graduate school, you want to be competitive. So the higher the GPA, the better, but I had a 3.3 GPA. I didn't have too much experience, so I was just like pretty scared that I wouldn't even get in. I had like the most basic GRE score, like the average of the average. It's not even below average. And honestly, I barely got into graduate school. So I applied to like 8 different graduate schools for my master's, and I only got into one. So it's not like I even had a choice on where I would go. That was the only one that accepted me, so of course that was my only option. And then when I went to that school, yeah, it was a nice experience. Still difficult because I had to go through all the classes, catch up. But then once I graduated, like I couldn't find a job right away. More like I didn't find a job in the field that I wanted. So I graduated with a degree in engineering, but I worked in like a microbiome lab. I worked in a research lab that really delved towards like cancer research. So again, going from like chemistry with a bachelor's, master's in engineering, and then now I'm working in a biology lab. Like, I didn't see any connection at all. None of the things that I did in school was like related, so I just had a really difficult time jumping into this engineering field. And more than likely, you're going to be experiencing the same thing too. You're not going to find the perfect job right away. You're not going to find like a perfect major. You're not going to even, fly through school immediately. You're going to go through some ups and downs. You're going to get lost in life. You might not even know like your true calling or what you're going to be wanting to do in school or your life or like your career, not until like maybe some failures. So as you can see with me, I went through like 3 different types of fields before I found this one. So yeah, I graduated with a degree in engineering, worked in a research lab, and then it wasn't really until I got laid off, literally until I got like basically fired, that I realized, I should probably be taking this seriously. This is where I draw the line. I'm not going to be wishy-washy and think, you know, what field should I go into? I should just focus into one, stick with it, and like put all my efforts into this one field. You know, I didn't want to like beat around the bush or test the waters. I just went all or nothing. This is it. If I don't get this, then I don't know. Like I can't give up. Once I actually focused and said I'm gonna do this no matter what happens, and it's not until I go out homeless on the streets will I stop. That was when I actually became, I guess, successful in a way. That was when I was able to get this job that I currently have. So it's not that you have to be like smart per se again during school. You just have to go through the classes. You just have to, in a way, not give up and focus in one route only. So it was really just like dedication, just sticking with your guns, sticking to what you want, you know, having a plan in case it fails, but like not really trying to like back out. So yeah, this is the reason why I don't think you have to be smart at all. If anything, that was pretty dumb because that was like a really risky move, just going all in and not even like looking back. Okay, yeah, that's about it. Really just don't give up with what you want to do. It's okay if you think that you're not good enough for it, because in reality, no one really knows what they're doing. People might have a plan with their life, but no one will really know how it'll end up being. Okay, so hopefully this is like a relatable story that you have probably already been going through, or you might even be going through right now. If you need any help or suggestions, just like, you know, comment below. Just ask around and see where it takes you. You just gotta endure, and hopefully you'll see the light at the end of the tunnel. Alright, that's all. Goodbye.